Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show 360 Degree Live, hosted by Transcontinental Times. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce today's guest on the show. In fact, I'm feeling honored and delighted to have him with us. He is a widely traveled sports journalist. He's recently retired from The Hindu, and also he's one of the most prominent senior Indian sports journalists. Join me welcoming Vijay Lokapally, sir. A warm welcome to the show, Vijay, sir.
Thank you, Vishal. That was a very wonderful introduction, and
Just a second, Vijay sir. I think I cannot hear you. Your voice.
is it
It's
is it?
maybe Vijay sir.
Can
Is
you
your
hear
mic
me?
mute or what? I cannot hear your voice.
Wait,
Hello.
wait.
Yeah, I think your voice is quite low or not connected. I cannot hear. Can you please wear earphones?
Can
Yeah.
you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
You need to go to the mic option and select headset.
Camera, mic. Audio. Yes.
Yeah. So go to the mic option because I cannot
Huh.
hear your voice in my Bluetooth headset. Go to the mic camera mic where it's mentioned. Go to that mic
Huh.
option and select out of those options headset.
Yes. Yes, I've selected.
You have selected Bluetooth headset or what?
No, I've selected headphones.
No, like there is a headset earpiece option, headset earpiece in audio.
Huh. Yes, it is. It says that's what I have picked.
You have selected that,
Huh. Is it?
and
Am I audible?
is your jack inserted in the laptop?
Yes.
I
So
don't know
how
why
come
still I can't hear your
how
voice.
come we tested properly? We were able to hear.
Yeah, but as just we went live, I think I cannot hear your voice now. It's audible, but it's not in the headset, and it's very less audible. Don't know why it's
It
happening.
is one sec.
Um, am I audible now
Yeah,
to you?
I can hear you. I can
You
hear
can hear
you.
me, right? But I can't hear
Yes.
your voice.
How come? Should I log in again? No. I can't hear you. नो, आवाज ही नहीं आ रहा है। तुमने म्यूट किया हुआ है अपने आप को। हाँ। हाँ, पर मेरे को आई एम नॉट एबल टू हियर यू एट ऑल इसमें। हाउ कैन इट बी? देखो देखो कैम आई हैव पिक्ड कैमरा माइक, ठीक है। अब उसमें आई गो टू एक मिनट इंटीग्रेटेड वेबकैम उसमें ऑडियो में जाके आई हैव पिक्ड स्पीकर डिफॉल्ट
Am I
स्पीकर
audible?
हेडफोन। हाँ, नाउ यू आर ऑडिबल, यस।
Okay, you can cut the call then.
हाँ, नाउ आई एम
Am I
नाउ
still audible?
यस, वेरी मच।
All right. Already 4 minutes have passed. No worries, guys. We are still charged up. And so I was thanking you for joining us today on the show, Mr. Vijay sir. How it's been like? I would like to start asking you with like how challenging it has been for you. Though you have recently retired from The Hindu, but you are still active on some domains and some uh, web portals. You are covering cricket still so actively. What challenges you faced amid COVID-19 situations in last 1.5 year? We all have been through those situations. So not being on the ground covering it live, but being at the home. So how did you manage, and how has been the situation for you?
Yeah, see, my retirement coincided with lockdown, right? 31st March, I retired, and the lockdown began before that. And the thing is, I'm not the only one. The whole world is suffering from this dreadful virus, and so has the sporting world. Initially, there was hardly anything happening, and then it started with the cricket series in England. They did a wonderful job. ECB, they hosted
True.
Pakistan and West Indies. So it was a very different experience, not just for me. If you look at the young generation, they have to work from home and do
Right.
these interviews on Zoom. So it is a complete disconnect with the sport and the sportsmen, because all those people who are used to going to the stadium and writing are now sitting in their homes and watching television and doing these Zoom interviews with the players and writing about it. It's a very different experience. For them, it's far more challenging than me, because I am done with my career. It is just that I get some offers to write. I do a bit of podcast and wonderful opportunities to write in the Sports Star, which is a fantastic platform for sports reporting. So for me,
Absolutely.
it is far less challenging than those who are actively working, and they have a huge what should I say, challenge ahead of them, because sport has changed in times of COVID. The sportsmen are also finding it very strange playing in front of nobody. I mean, if you are used to playing in front of crowds, suddenly you
Right.
realize that there is nobody to watch you. It can be a very disturbing experience. So I think we all will have to cope with it, and as time passes, all this will become normal.
Right. Actually, I asked you this because you have, despite of having more than 3 decades of experience in covering cricket live, almost you have traveled to each international venue mostly. So that's why I thought to know your opinion and views, how you manage to cover cricket still closely, whether Test series or IPL, from being at home, and even still, even this coming IPL, I think no spectators and media credentials I think are allowed to be in stadium or pre-match training venues. So definitely gonna be bit uh, like it's very sad to not able to catch the actions live, whether it is any sports, and the situations are still getting like rather than better, but I would say worse. The cases are rising up, but definitely we'll get back normal soon. So let's get started with Mr. The great journalist of our country, to know his journey. I would like to ask you, you have such a laborious and a successful career in sports journalism for last 3 and more decades. You have been writing. You have covered exclusively, I think, from Kapil Dev to Virat. Exclusively, you are very close to them, knowing them, their childhood and all. So and cricket, of course. So can you please take us through your journey and your upbringing? Where were you born and brought up, and how did you got interested in sports and then sports journalism?
See, I was like most of us from my generation. Our only time pass was to go out and play. Television was not a big attraction, and there was some radio, yes, and cinema
Okay,
was not encouraged by parents. They won't let you. We were not allowed to watch cinema. So the only source of entertainment for us was to go out and play, and that is where you develop love for sports, and any sport, from cricket, football to volleyball. We would play, and team sport generally, because then everybody would be involved. It was a wonderful period, and then I realized that I could write. I was able to do some good writing, and I love to read also. So that helped me grow. That helped me develop my writing also. And then, of course, I've shared this earlier also. When Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi retired, I wrote an article on him, which was published by two newspapers. So that gave me an encouragement, and also the fact that Mr. Bedi gave me a letter of encouraging, praising my writing. So to me, that triggered my what should I say, the ambition to look for a career in sports journalism. It allowed me to watch sport. It allowed me to write, and then also, like you mentioned, it gave me a platform to interact with the top stars of the game, from beginning with Mr. Kapil Dev, Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, Mr. Vishwanath, Mr. Venksankar. They were all great players, and coming in touch with them over the years, they became very friendly. And then, of course, the next generation came with Azharuddin Tendulkar. That team was very different. Saurabh's team was very different. And then, of course, I
True.
was lucky to survive till Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni formed their team. So it's been a learning process for me all the while. I kept learning every season. I would pick up a few lessons in sports reporting from my contemporaries. There were some wonderful reporters when I was growing up, watching them, the seniors, and then my contemporaries were also so very good, very helpful, and we did not really compete with each other. We supported each other. So that was the best thing about my generation of sports journalists. It does exist today also. They do stand for each other, the young people, and sports journalism has grown. It has become very glamorous now, I must say, with not just the television, even otherwise. They get to travel so much, they get to write, and also the fact that they become famous, the byline. When your report comes with the names of these players,
So true.
your readers come to identify you. So that was also the case with me. I was lucky that the Hindu gave me an opportunity to travel so much, to write on the sport which we all know and love, that is cricket. And I was extremely fortunate to work in the Hindu, which to me will always remain the best newspaper India has seen, and especially they take great pride in promoting sports. So that was a strong point of my career, because with such encouragement from the organization, one could grow and improve. So that is what happened in my case. And I would like to mention some names, my colleagues in the Hindu who helped me become what I am. My senior, Mr. KP Mohan, my colleagues, Rashekar Rao, Rakesh Rao, Kami Srinivasan, YB Sarangi. These were some wonderful people I worked with. Kirti Patel, who later went on to Pune. And these are, we worked for each other, we supported each other, and I can say with pride that we were easily the best sports team in the country.
That's really true, I can say, because having my experience with Rakesh Rao and Kamesh Srinivasan, who covers shooting and tennis, probably, and Rakesh sir has been from chess, and he covered table tennis as well, which I belongs to. So I've seen him closely and knows him quite well as well. So, and the Hindu, of course, is one among the top like high good quality content. He's been serving the some of the best sports content and exclusives since long, and also the magazine Sports Star. I think since my childhood, when I was a kid, if I take you back to my school days, when in the library only I used to read this particular sports magazine, which is a Sports Star, from where I come to know about a lot of Olympians, and I could read their biographies and journeys, and which could inspire me maybe to be active in sports. So of course it's one among the best, I would say. And so I was about to ask you, who were also your supporting pillars in your beginning of your career, like you started as a freelancer, and then after some time
Yeah.
shifted to a full-time journalist. So in the beginning, how did you
Yes.
manage? What were the challenges faced by you, or I would say a young sensational, I mean,
See, it was
journalist?
challenge will always be there. I mean, every generation will face different challenges, but in my times, print media was very powerful. It was very respected. and it was there was I should say a written word held a lot of meaning, and that's the reason I'm saying there's a lot of respect for print media journalists. It continues to be even now, but in my case, I was lucky. Mr. PVR Menon, who was the sports editor of Patriot, he encouraged me so much, and I'm grateful to him. Sadly, he is no more to listen to what I'm saying. And then when I joined the Hindu, my sports editor, Mr. S. Krishnan, he had faith in my reporting abilities, so he gave me a lot of opportunities to travel and he would give me some tough assignments because he had faith in me that I would deliver. And of
So
course,
true.
in my initial years with the Hindu, there was R. Mohan, who to me is the best cricket journalist India has known. If ever anybody has to do become a good journalist in cricket reporting, then R. Mohan is a case study because I have seen him from very close quarters, very professional. His reporting was absolutely top class. His preparation for the game was top class, and then he would he was able to write his report and send it off with the last ball of the day. So, which showed how professional he was and how quick he was in reporting and sending his copy. So, to me, I have gained a lot from watching, observing our Mohan from very close quarters. And like I said, when I was working with Mr. KP Mohan, uh, he he was not a demanding boss. I mean, he did not like us. He used to tell us, "I'm not your boss," and he would not like he being addressed as sir. So he would insist you call me by my name, which took me a while before I could, you know, begin to call him by his name. But he has been to me in my profession the biggest influence. Learning journalism in his company was probably the best thing that could have happened to me, Kamesh, Rakesh, Rashekar Rao, who is now the ICC media manager. He was also a wonderful colleague and a family friend. So we all have gained from KP Mohan's guidance, and there were other people in the profession who at different times came to guide us. Initially, I learned from Mr. C.S. Rao, then Mr. Jagannath Rao, who was the sports editor of PTI. He used to give us very useful tips, and of course, Mr. R. Sriman, who was a fine writer from the Times of India, he would go out of the way to praise you if he found the work good. So I was lucky. My generation was extremely lucky, and in my case, I have a friend, a dear friend, Manoj Vatsayana, who worked with the Hindustan Times. Then he went to AFP. Uh, Growing with
Okay.
him, we grew together in the profession, and we backed each other. And to me, he is an amazing sports journalist because I've not seen him make a mistake. His thorough preparation, and he would execute his work in such a beautiful manner, and he was such a readable reporter. You would just love to read his report. So Manoj Vatsana also has been a pillar of strength to me. We have had many journalists around, but Manoj will always remain dear to me.
That's really wonderful to hear out, and I would like to give a big shout out to your wonderful colleagues like Kamesh and Rakesh Rao sir, and also to your boss, because of whom I think because of all these supporting pillars of you, I think we
Yes.
could have I myself alive and could see a wonderful personality like you, not only a good sports journalist, but also a happening and a really wonderful gentleman. I think not only me, but all the youngsters out there, and so many other even journalists of your era and even active right now. So along with you, G. Radharaman and so many other who are
Yes.
covering cricket and other sports. So I think there is so much to speak about you, and everybody respects you a lot and really like surrounded by you always, whether it is like in person or social media. So coming talking about your era, there was not much of help like internet and all for you to search and learn from internet, and also and still then you had done a lot of hard work, maybe beyond that what we could think of now, because in today's life we have so many things to take help from, even if we don't have anyone in the family, or even among friend circle to help us regarding the field we are. But then internet is there and so many other techniques are there to help us, but in your time definitely it must have not been there. So what do you think, how social media has impacted journalism? Internet, especially the web media portals being introduced, and especially Twitter is one among the most popular social networking site of choice of journalists. Then revolutionary came in 19th century when newspaper became much more popular, covering business, politics, and technology as well. But talking to a sports journalist, I would like to know the history of sports journalism, and if you can take us back to, I think print and broadcasting were the two only mediums back then, and which was more impactful, and how it impacted. Like if I talk about firstly the early era, the history, and then now social media impacted on journalism. So please share your expertise with us.
See, there was no social media in my time, so which was very good, which meant that people had to rely on newspaper reports, and which was the best authentic way to learn. I mean, today, if you get a WhatsApp message, you don't even know who has sent it, whether it is genuine or not. And Twitter,
That's
you
very
may
true,
have a
Vijay.
yeah, and Twitter, you may have a follower, and you may not know whether it is he or she, and whether the account is
So true.
genuine, whether the name is
Yeah.
genuine. So I don't get carried away by Twitter or WhatsApp or Facebook. The best way source of information will always remain print media, because the print is far more accountable for what it prints, and it has far more sense of responsibility than the electronic media or even the digital media, because there again, digital media is no sense of responsibility. Like I said, they can get away with whatever they want, uh, but
Anonymously, you mean to say they can
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
use
but
it.
in yeah, we grew up with collecting information which had to be collected firsthand. You would either go to a library and browse through the books and make your own data, or read newspapers. All the newspapers you could read and form your impression of a particular topic or an issue. And the editorials were a great source of information actually, and it also helped you improve your writing skills, which is not the case today. Unfortunately, you hardly get to see good edits, except not because I've worked with the Hindu. The Hindu today still has the best edit page in the country, and reporting has changed over the years. Maybe at times it becomes a little critical, which probably is the demand of the time, because you want to be different from others. And how can you be different? Probably becoming more critical, which which may suit today's style. But for me, that was not the case. I was always um, I had a soft corner for the players, because I always believed that sportsmen always, nobody plays to lose. You always give your best. So
Absolutely right.
it is just that on a particular day, Vishal Sharma would play better than Vijay Lokapally, and he will win. So that doesn't mean that Vijay Lokapally has played bad. It is just that you have to concede your opponent was better that day. And so such healthy competition can create good entertainment for those who are watching. Television came in and brought print media under pressure for the simple reason that people would have watched the game, and they would expect you to analyze more or give them something different than just read the newspapers next day. But there again, it was also wrong to assume that everyone would have watched the game. That was not the case. They would still, even if they were
Exactly.
watching, they would still want to know your view, because you are supposed to be at the venue, and there would be certain things which they wouldn't have known. They would have missed. So it was your duty to portray the best picture of what you have seen, and try to be as close and as truthful when it comes to facts. Writing factual report always helps, because then your credibility comes with it. So in this profession, remember one thing, I've always said that I've learned it from my seniors, that credibility is what matters, because it takes years to form your reputation as a credible journalist. But two bad reports and they will, I mean, you become just like any other rookie reporter. So with experience, I learned to stick to facts. In any case, the Hindu never encouraged yellow journalism, or the kind of journalism where you could just slam somebody and
Unbiased.
get away with it. Yeah, unbiased. Because if I had to if I had to criticize Vishal Sharma, the Hindu would say, yes, you can criticize him, but also get his opinion on the subject. So that balances out. So I was lucky. But yes, today's digital world and the television coverage has definitely put tremendous pressure on the young people. They have to be looking for news. They have to be looking for different angles, and I am with them when they try to, because they have to work really very hard. Competition was not stiff at all in my times, because the number of sports journalists was not so huge. Today, for a press conference, when I have covered some press conferences in my time when we would be hardly say 8 to 10 people. But today, if
Oh,
you go
really?
for a press conference, yes, and today there are almost 100 people for a press conference. So you can imagine the
A
competition.
room full of journalists and reporters and camera persons, right?
Yeah, so the competition to gather news is very intense. Uh, so I think today's young journalists are under far more pressure than I was in my time.
The competition is there to compete in the like field, having where we have so many veteran senior journalists uh, who are still active and like making journalism, redefining that, and bringing the revolution in maybe the history of sport journalism or other niche as well. But talking about this much, and of course whatever you said is absolutely right. There are so many, I think, great newspaper media publications who are like who bringing uh, the best and unbiased news every day, and through which we can be updated ourselves. But then what do you also believe, like after having internet media, the website portals, which are the only website portals, those who don't have their print, neither magazine nor a broadcast, but still they are covering news exclusives, and they have made a mark, in the sports industry to cover maybe cricketers or to Olympic athletes exclusively, and talking to them, like before and after, I mean, covering pre sessions and post tournaments also. So they are everywhere now, and we have newspapers also, and then we have broadcast radio and television. So is it still like influencing? I mean, what do you think? So like youth of today rather giving time to newspaper, reading it out, and rather going just online and just opening a website and reading the news from their phone directly, which is every time, I think, out of 24 hours, almost 15 hours, we young generation, especially youth, are used to of their smartphones. So rather giving more time to newspaper, which is according to you, and which is somewhere according to me is more authentic and genuine in terms of first come first serve basis. So do you also think that smartphone technology and website portal based media house are making difference, and leaving newspaper readers and broadcast listeners behind somewhere?
No, I don't think. I don't think, because ultimately it comes down to what you want to know. I mean, you can't get like Twitter will have what can it say in so few characters. So similarly, there are some digital platforms where they don't carry long reports. They carry just breaking news. So that is
Right.
to catch attention, right? But newspapers are not trying to give you breaking news. They give you news after a lot of analysis and checking the facts. In on see on digital platform, have you can always, if there is wrong news, you can just take it off, right? But you can't
You
do
have an
that in
option
news.
to edit, undo, and all, right?
But in newspapers, you can't do that. You will have to, once it is printed, you can't make any changes, right?
Right.
Maybe at next day you will have to carry an apology in case of a wrong reporting, which again depends on the newspaper's policy. So that is the main difference. The print media is still far more responsible because of the fact that it is a printed word. It is in print. You have to
So
be
true.
very careful because the print, like even television or digital platforms, print, it can be read by a 10-year-old or an 80-year-old. So you have to remember that it should be easy reading. You can't be taxing somebody's mind. Then he'll stop reading you if he doesn't understand. And it's very difficult also for reporters, for sorry, newspapers to compete with television because people tend to look at the easy way. You know, they will newspapers will give you are far more informative than
Detailed.
and when you read, it gets registered in your mind, it stays there. But what you watch, you can probably forget it after an hour. And that's the case. That is the key difference between print and the digital platform. Digital platform, yes, with phones and all, newspaper sorry, news has become very accessible. There is plenty of news. I think there is overkill of news because anything happens, it is reported. So whether it deserves to get noted on that platform is debatable, because since there is a competition to give news, there is no dearth of news appearing in all these digital platforms, television, and sometimes in print
Like
media also.
Times of India is having their economic time subsidiaries and all, and they all have their individual websites, web portals as well. Whatever, not in terms of a very huge article, but like comprising of 1,000 words or more, whatever used to published in the newspaper, same day, similarly, it used to get published in the website as well. So I was just talking about some recent surveys being done, and the consequences are like the youth, the young generation of today are more relying on mobile phone. I mean, these smartphones, and just it will take very less time for them to quickly open that notification. Maybe if they have subscribed, or just like going through the website and just know the headline, maybe not going through the article fully. But what you said is absolutely right. Print has very rare chances to do the factual, I mean, errors, and it's very rarely been happen even in past because there is no other chance to get it edit and undone. So definitely, even in broadcast, live breaking and all, you just have one chance. Like right now, me only having one chance, whatever I speak. So I can like make it right later on. But yes, on internet and social media, especially, definitely it's not that authentic, and you have options to do so many certain changes. Later on. So absolutely, what you said is right. Um, so. So I would like to ask you that what is the nitty-gritty of being a successful reporter, maybe covering an event live, or being a good journalist, even if it is a rare covering niche, which is sports journalism. We have so many web domains and journalists and reporters for politics and business and other as well. But now, though I have seen so many. We have from young to senior sport journalists and reporters and bloggers individually who are covering their own aspect of views in sports industry, whether nationally or internationally. But especially asking a successful journalist like you, I would like to know, for me and for others who just begin their, uh, I mean, journey and in the career, how what is most important to keep in mind, and ultimately the nitty gritty of being a good reporter, a commentator, ultimately a good journalist. What you would like to say?
No, it is. What should I say? I mean, you will have to read a lot. will have to understand your subject. You can't just go there and come back and write a very flippant copy. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the organization. You cannot overnight become a successful reporter. It takes years of hard work.
True that.
Yeah,
Right.
it is not that you can just go to the ground, write one report, and expect to become a star reporter. That doesn't happen. It comes over a period of time, and your reputation will will matter a lot if you are wanting to make a long career in this profession, or for that matter, I think any profession. Your credibility counts a lot. So here, when you say that what will make a good journalist, I think authentic reporting is the key. And also you should understand the vastness of the subject. How you get to see so much, but you will have to be discreet in what you write, which will appeal to the reader, which will not harm or hurt an individual needlessly. And you have to be unbiased as a reporter. Otherwise, you can never ever succeed. You may get away for a limited period of time, for a short period of time, but you get sorted out. Your reputation is the key, because after a period, they identify you as a journalist who can be trusted, as a writer who can be read.
As a critical.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so it is entirely up to you. You want to become a good journalist with credibility, or you want to be known as somebody who can just write whatever he hears without trying to cross check. But in my career, I was growing up with journalists who were not wanting to sacrifice their reputation just because they want to do a story quickly and overnight want to become a star. That will not happen in any era. You will have to work hard, and that's what we were told, we learned, and we were able to deliver.
Yeah, like say suppose there is a situation where the stadium, say suppose there is a cricket event going on, and there are the stadium is full of top class, top notch journalists, the senior journalist, and there is a young journalist who just got his first assignment and he need to cover that event along with those journalists in that I mean group of journalists. So how to stand out alone and deliver something different in terms of content? I mean,
Ha.
share your experience.
Yeah,
You
if you see, very true. One of my colleagues, Nirmal Shekhar, uh, who also was my sports editor for a while, one of the most brilliant sports writers we have known. His argument was very simple. I mean, his definition of a scoop was a good report from the press box, which would have something which others would have missed. So to him, that was the scoop, because we have all watched, the whole press box is watching, but you have picked out something which others have missed. So that
missed,
could
right?
that yeah. So that angle to write a copy is, to me, what defines your journalism, your writing abilities, your understanding of the game. You will have to accept the fact that you can be different either by good writing. You can be a very very good writer, so you are very different, or you can be very good by exploring angles of reporting. When you describe a match, you will pick up a few points which you can play with, and then produce a very compact report, which gives a correct picture of what has happened. And it can come only and only if you observe well, and also the fact that you are able to translate it, what you have watched, you have translated it into a good copy. So that, to me, defines a good sports journalist.
Right. Very well said, Vijay sir, because it's not only it's definitely beneficial for me to hear out this an argument of your colleague. It's very well like it's true indeed, and this is really confidence boosting to know for the younger one out there who just gonna start their journey and who recently maybe cover the Test series, or later on they are gonna do that. So yes, India is a cricket-centric nation, and that's why we have a good competition. Even in Olympic sports coverages, we have so many senior journalists, and now the youth is there, to look ahead and after. In fact, maybe covering maybe better. But then publication to publication, newspaper to newspaper, I have read myself. It varies the style of content, the way of writing the content and delivering that news and exclusive even. Uh, from Vijay sir to Raja Raman and two others. So definitely it varies. And uh, being the renowned journalist and one of the most beloved, I would say, among top cricketers and other, like, you have covered football, hockey, uh, and so many other sports, and they all, love the way you write. So there must be something every time, like there is only that particular event which is being covered by several journalists, and out of them there is one Vijay Lokapally sir as well. So why is it like you are making a difference and delivering the good content, and folks are loving you and they would like to expect another piece one after one from you, and they await for your you are a great author as well. I would like to talk a little bit about this as well. You have delivered Driven on Virat Kohli. It was a gift, I believe, to Virat, his journey, and so many other you have written. So what influenced you to be like you have covered cricket majorly, I would say, in your career of last 3 or more decades, and you have uh, you know traveled so many international venues. So is it the reason going in depth in cricket and becoming more interested, uh, you yourself being I mean, a good cricket fanatic person, and then being a good journalist, you thought to be a author and started writing uh, books. So how did it started, and this like idea came to your mind, or it was just random?
No, no, no. It was. I mean, part of my growing up, I did reporting. I was lucky to come in touch with these cricketers who became friends, and it would also put me under pressure to keep writing well. From if in my opinion, it may not necessarily be a good writing for the other guy. It was from my. I always gave my best. The effort was there. If I did well, fine. If I did not do well, at least I could tell myself that yes, I had made an effort. And this book writing happened because with time, one came to know these players also. So, and I've been a book I mean, I have a grand collection of sports books in my house, so that I was always fascinated by books, and I would spend hours and hours in libraries in Delhi. So here was an opportunity. It came with Sehwag hitting the triple hundred, first Indian, and then this publisher approached me, and I did it happily. And then, of course, later, many years later, Virat Kohli happened, and driven was I think it took me it was a lot of hard work writing about Virat, and I'm happy that I could do a book which even he liked it. So that was for me more important, that Virat was praising the book. And then later on, I mean, we have just come out with two books during the pandemic: Hitman, which is on Rohit
Right.
Sharma, and then there is a history of fast bowlers, kind of history, not exactly a history, but just a book on fast bowlers. So, Bloomsbury, the publishing house, has been very kind to me, and they've always encouraged me to write for them. Book writing today has become very popular. There are journalists half my age who have come out with very good books. I can talk of Suprita Das. She did a book on women cricketers. Then Nikhil Nas of NTV, who used to be, he came out with a very beautiful book on the
I think
90.
especially Nikhil has been maybe your student. He's been one among.
Not really, yeah, but I mean, I would love if he calls himself my student, because I like his work a lot. And that book was a very different book on the 1983 team. I loved reading that book. And then there are others who have been thinking on and trying to work hard on coming out and becoming an author. I mean, if these people are becoming author at the age of 30, 35, there's a bright future for them, because they will the readers will benefit from their experience if they write
And
more and more books.
yeah, and your ebooks have landed in some of the best sellers on e-commercial website, and I could see the interest in fans and your readers who read your articles on website portals or maybe the Hindu earlier. Anyhow, wanted the book at very first, right after it get published. So and that too on it's on cricket and so like you have served a long journey. I think you have given your like soul and blood what I say to cricket, and you have a very core in-depth knowledge of like history of cricket and even the current era. Even after getting retired from the Hindu, I could see you covering cricketers exclusively or some events also actively on some other domains and sports star as well, of course. So yes, it's really great because writing a news piece, an article, it's very different, isn't it, from writing a book, being an author.
Obviously,
Writing
I
a book of
mean, yeah, yeah. Book is a collection of many articles. So
yeah.
book is not article can be
Just give me a
400 words,
second. Yeah,
600 words.
my voice got disconnected. Yeah. Yeah, am I audible to you?
Yeah,
Am I
audible.
audible?
Yeah.
Uh, but then why I'm not audible? Uh, like you are not audible to me. Just give me a second. Yeah. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please continue.
Yeah, yeah. What I was saying was an article can be 250 words, 800 words,
Thousand
1500
words more.
words, right? But a book would be 40,000 words, 60,000 words. So it takes a lot of effort, and so that's one reason why I'm I'm not critical of anybody writing a book, because I know the kind of effort that goes in, the kind of hard work that goes in. It's very easy for me to buy a book and just then dismiss
So
it,
true.
saying that, oh, it's not a good one. But every book will have something good about it. Every book will have definitely have something good
Very
about
true.
it. And not everybody is a good writer. Everybody wants to be a good writer. Everyone makes an effort to be a good writer. So a book is an effort by a writer, right, to become an author, and one should encourage, especially young people. If when a youngster writes a book, he writes it with a lot of hope, and a little bit of praise can help him grow, and maybe encourage him, motivate him to do another book, and why not? And like I said, there are sometimes I wonder when I see these book reviews in papers, and then I would have ended up buying the book and feeling very disappointed, in the sense that they would have praised one book sky high, and dismissed the other one. So my philosophy, or my this thing is that every book cannot be a good book, and not every book can be a bad book. So we should respect the author's work, the author's hard work, and accept the fact that maybe it could have been better. But to dismiss it as a bad book is not a good idea.
And do you also believe that saying that, like you said, every book is like talking about good, bad, and best. But then, do you also believe that everybody is not even a good reader? Maybe one should also learn how to be a good reader also, so that
That
you
is
can be
debate.
a good critic. I mean, later on. Otherwise, you
Yeah,
can't
that
just
is.
identify and judge a book simply
Yeah,
saying
but
like it's good and bad.
no, but that is debatable. I mean, to say you should be a good reader, he can always turn around and ask you, you should be a good author. So it is, you have to complement each
I
other.
mean, well, while I'm not a great sports fanatic person and not even following maybe that particular to whom you have plotted in the book. So if I even am not aware about that sports personality and the biography is about say suppose about him or her, then I can't simply judge the book. I mean to say, saying that it's good or bad. The only person has that right, I think, if you are yourself fully well versed with that person about whom the book is being written. So that's what I was saying. But anyhow, we are near to the end of the show, so I would like to ask you the other. I would like to move ahead to the question: what was your most memorable moment in your whole career, traveling around world, covering almost all major tournaments internationally? So, what was your most memorable moment?
I can't pick one because there were so many of them.
If
Uh,
you can share few.
Yeah, meeting Nelson Mandela in South Africa when we were there, and not just
Oh,
me. There were many.
wonderful.
We were a big. We were about 32 journalists on the tour from India, and meeting him was a grand experience at the ANC headquarters in Durban, and then of course meeting Gary Sobers in the West Indies. He had come to India in the 80s, I remember, and we did get to interact with him. And then in later years, but in the West Indies, he gave us a lot of time. Meeting some of the old cricketers about whom I had only read in South Africa was a great experience. So these were some of the memorable moments, I would say, during my cricket journey. But the best was being able to understand and come in good, should I say, on a platform which brought me very close to cricketers like Mr. Gavaskar, Mr. Kapil Dev, and Mr. Bedi. They were from an earlier era, and one had grown up watching them, admiring their works, their game on the play on the field, but knowing them off the field was to me a very memorable experience, and I learned a lot from them in life management.
That's really wonderful to hear your memorable moments, especially the Nelson Mandela meetup. It's really, I mean, Nelson Mandela is, I'm also a huge fan of him, and there are a lot of others. So that must have been really a precious moment which you never wanted to, forget. Definitely you won't. Now we have a little bit of more time left. So before wrapping up the conversation, I would like to have a rapid fire round with you. It's fun and entertaining. So I'll give you quickly, uh, like two choices. All question will be having a two choices, and you need to just pick one, whatever you feel like. Uh, you know, you would be picking up. So, cricket or hockey?
Cricket, obviously, because it's my first. Like many, I also grew up watching hockey and admiring them, but then cricket gave me a good life, so it has to be cricket.
So true and wonderful to hear that answer. So, Chennai Super Kings or Delhi Capitals?
Delhi Capitals. I live in Delhi, so I'm bound to support Delhi, and it's a good team this time. Last year also it was a good team. It looked like it would win the title, but again this year they have come up with a very good combination, and with Pant as captain, I am expecting that Delhi Capitals will probably win its first ever title in IPL.
Wow. All right. That's a great prediction, by the way. I hope it turns to be true. But then I would like to also ask you when you have said DC, Delhi Capitals. So who is your favorite DC boy uh, from like the early squad or from the current squad? Anyone?
Earlier squad, I would say Sehwag was there. A very, I mean, a
Okay.
dashing batsman, one of the finest we have known, and what a great entertainer. And then, of course, last few years, I'm very fond of Rishabh Pant because I've known him when he was just growing up
He's
in playing
always
in Delhi cricket.
right. That's really great. He's in limelight since last 2 years, especially playing his last like IPL and other international event as well. He's doing really wonderful. So moving ahead, Virat Kohli or Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Virat Kohli. Virat
All
Kohli,
right.
because I have known him. Dhoni, of course, not that I don't know Dhoni. Dhoni is again a wonderful cricketer. He has set examples. But Virat Kohli is something very different. A very
Although
majestic. Hmm? very majestic
Right.
player, and
Okay.
he's shown why he's so very different. He scored against the best of the bowling attacks, and today and for some time he has easily been the best batsman in the world. So Virat Kohli.
I would like to just convey this to our listeners that it's not a biased quiz. It's just a random quiz I'm doing with Vijay sir. So all these cricketers I have taken name or these teams of IPL are great. They are legend of their own times, and it's just a random quiz for fun. So print or broadcast.
Print. I have been a
All right.
print man, and print has far more credibility than broadcast
It's
any
already
day.
predicted though, but then I just would like to do a tricky question. Okay, coming towards my choice of sports, which is racket sports. So table tennis or badminton?
You play table tennis, but badminton is far more engaging,
Rather, yeah, rather
far
if you get
more.
to play, I would change the question a bit more tricky way. That if you get to play, then which one? Table tennis or badminton?
Badminton, because table tennis court is
All
small.
right.
You have to be very, very accurate. Badminton gives you far more room to move around and land the court. Yeah, so
Okay.
table tennis, the rival area is so short. You have to be very precise, and it's a very, very challenging sport. Table tennis, no doubt about that. But I'll say badminton.
So whosoever is watching from Multiple Tennis League, please take this compliment from Vijay sir. And I also agree with this. Okay, moving ahead, live coverage or work from home? Which one you would prefer, even for
Oh,
future, I would say.
no comparison. There is no comparison. Live coverage is what you see, and work from home means you see what they are showing you. There is a difference, right? On television, you will see only what they are showing you. But when you go to the ground, the whole play field is in front of you. You see all
Situation
kinds
is
of
different.
movements. You see the crowd reaction. You meet fellow journalists. You interact with them. You get a different perspective. There will be times when you may not be making a good judgment, and a conversation with a fellow journalist would alert you. Okay, your reading was wrong. So all that helps, and nothing like live coverage. I mean, live watching, because you have to be part of the game to understand the intrigue and the excitement that comes with it. And television gives you a very limited, what should I say, limited.
It's not enjoyable as well for spectators'
It is not. It is
perspective
not.
as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And also
Live
that's
watching live
why,
is. Hmm?
yeah, that's why we say that media plays a very crucial role covering the sporting events and any field. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
very true.
Live. You have to. Live is. There's no comparison. Live is. I'll always watch live.
That's wonderful. Okay, ISL. This is related to football. The two of the leagues. It's. I'm just asking you this. Which one you would prefer to watch if two of these are running at same time? So ISL or Hero I League.
See, I League has its own attraction. It is being. It
True.
is. It has survived. It is. ISL is very glamorous, right? But it's a very different league. There is no, what should I say? You have foreign players, so that makes it a bit more competitive. But the I League is essential because you have to protect your clubs, and your own players who don't get picked in the ISL are here. It's a different brand of football, and someday it will grow. But I've covered ISL also. I've covered I League matches also, and any day I would
Oh,
love to watch I League for the simple reason that I may come across a player and write about him, which the football following fraternity may not be aware of. So I'll prefer watching I League matches, ISL everybody
push.
matches, but I League I would love to go and write about the lesser known footballers.
And now that we have a Delhi based team, Sudheva,
Yes,
so
yes,
definitely it's very much there.
correct,
Okay,
correct.
last but not least, it's very tricky of what I don't really know. Test match or IPL?
Test match, test
Wonderful.
match,
And,
test match.
but
I mean,
then
no
IPL going to
comparison.
complete 14 seasons, and definitely you would have been watching since the first season. Uh, you know,
Do
kick
you
off. So
remember from
but
what
but
time
then
did you
still.
watch? When did you start watching IPL?
Not really, but I think I think
Chalo, last 2 years. Okay. I'll say, okay,
maybe
we'll take it.
2012 or so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll say 2018, which is very close to 2021. How many matches do you remember from 2018 IPL matches?
Actually, very few because
That's the
I've not
difference.
been I've not been following very closely. I mean, I've not been
Even
covering them
even
as well. So
even for people who follow, IPL is very difficult to keep track of, and so many matches happening,
oh,
and it looks very monotonous. But Test match, you must have seen the difference. What India did in
I got the
Australia.
point you wanted to bring.
Yeah. So Australia, that series would have told you what Test cricket is, and then again, of course, India playing England at home was again a wonderful series. So Test match is actual cricket. That's how cricket is played. Has been played over the years. IPL is just a,
I
it's
mean,
just an
personally
innovation.
talking to me, asking me this because I'm not very been closely to IPL and watching and covering. So I would not say, but that's very true. Of course, Test matches plays a different role, and through Test matches only we come to know the real sportsmanship of batsmen and bowlers, or like the whole
Yeah,
cricketing
yeah.
industry.
There
So
is.
true,
Yeah. You
so
ask me
true.
IPL and Test matches. I think there is no comparison. Test match gives you so many things.
Right. So we are over with the rapid fire round. It's really interesting and especially like knowledge boosting to me. So I hope you also enjoyed thoroughly this rapid fire. This is small rapid fire round. And
Yeah.
now I would like to wrap up this conversation by asking you this last question: that what advice do you have for the youngsters, for the youth who admire you and want to be uh, like you, as successful as you in their career? So what advice you want to give to them?
I don't know if it can be an advice. I can only share my experience that which was I learnt only by going to the venue. I learnt by watching a sport at the ground, whether it could be a local match, it could be a domestic match, or it could be an international match. Television, yes, it facilitates and it's very convenient. You can sit and watch a West Indies Sri Lanka match at home, and why not? Which is again, I mean, you should watch a sport when it is coming, but don't miss an opportunity to go to the ground, because that is where you will improve, you will grow as a journalist. When you are at say a domestic cricket match, you will not get you will have to watch minutely because there is no replay, right? If you miss a ball, it is
So true.
gone.
So true.
Yeah,
Correct.
and then you get to see uh, actual action, which is very, like I said earlier, it's very different from what you get to see on television. So you will have to please go to the ground and watch one, and read as much
Live
as
match
possible.
can give us goosebumps, whereas a television can't that way. And
Yeah.
also, so challenges would be there. You need to anyhow overcome out of those, and then fighting out with the obstacles and be a successful. I think it's not only with journalism, but I think in any field. So, very well said. I hope, I'm sure a lot of youngsters who are your fan, including me. I could say Vishal Sharma is a huge fan of Vijay sir, and following him, reading his articles every day when you cover cricket or exclusive, uh, you know. So yes, I've learned a lot from you, and it's definitely been a great quality time having a huge conversation with you on sports journalism and your journey as well. Of course, there are so much to know more and to cover. There were a lot of questions in my mind, but we will definitely have you back again sometime. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing us your valuable time with us. I thank you on behalf of my whole Transcontinental Times team. So, yes, I just can say, whosoever is gonna hear this out later on, definitely your colleague, your friends, and family, also the youth like me, will get inspired from your journey. Especially the young journalist would, definitely learn a lot and come to know about you more, maybe which is not anywhere else in print or in some live interview of yours. So thank you so much again for joining us. I hope you also enjoyed this show with me, and
Thank you.
we'll see you sometime back again. Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you,
Thank
you,
you.
you can leave us. Yeah, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.